December 8th, 2023 at 8:28 a.m. Hey y'all. Welcome back to Everybody's Got a Story. I'm glad you're here. Okay, y'all. So I got a message today, okay? This is very rare that you guys are actually catching me with all this noise in the background, because normally when I'm talking to y'all and it's very quiet and you can hear me very clearly. I did a mic check though, so I know that you guys can hear me clearly even outside, okay? But I'm going on a bit of a walk, getting my exercise on for the day. So, and a message just hit me, okay? A message hit me, and I thought to myself that I should wait to get back where it's quiet so that, I can proceed as I normally do. But, if the message was just coming through so strong and so good that I said, no, I don't want to wait. I want to get this out right now while I'm walking. So y'all might catch me, breathless and everything, because as I start walking more, I might get out of breath. Okay, so just bear with me. Okay, okay. So guys, so I am firmly aware that there are people who are in a situation that I have been in with in-laws, with exes and co-parenting issues and things like that, okay? So I am very aware that my situation is relatable, all right? Sometimes people get caught up in situations where they attach themselves to, the people that they want to be attached to, right? Because nobody can make you be with somebody. I mean, sometimes they can, right? But in my instance, for example, nobody made me be with the person that, I was with from my past. I made that decision, right? We all have free will to choose who we want to be with. Most of us, right? So, and then when you get into these relationships, sometimes you're not aware of certain toxic things going on in the family, okay? And a lot of times it's because you've had toxic situations in your own family unit, right? Whether it be with your parents, your cousins, your aunts, your uncles, close family friends, whatever, right? You were conditioned to a certain way of being as you grew up. And maybe when you meet someone that you get into a relationship with, if their family dynamics sort of mirror what you were used to, or if the family dynamics seem better than what you were used to, sometimes you will attach yourself to something that seems either normal, right? It's normal to you, or you feel like it's better than what you were used to. So you're like, oh, this is better. This is great, right? So you attach yourself, and it doesn't hurt that you may be attracted to the person and you guys have good conversation and blah, 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 right? Okay. So you get into these dynamics. Then after a while, the relationship may go to shit, right? And you may decide that this isn't working out for me anymore. You may have grown past the person that you were attached to, or maybe you just noticed about some really toxic shit going on in the family dynamics that, doesn't play well with who you are as a person anymore, right? Because we evolve. We're supposed to evolve anyway. That's the point of life, to evolve, to ascend, to grow, right? Sometimes people don't grow. They stay exactly where they are, and then they get mad at you when you evolve and you grow, because they want to keep you where you used to be, but you're not there anymore. And they can't understand that because they can no longer identify with the person that you've become, right? So you're trying to get away. You're trying to save yourself. If you got kids, you're trying to save your kids. You're trying to get away from the toxic situation, and the toxic situation is trying to keep you put, okay? And they can do that through a plethora of ways, right? They can try to keep you put with family, right? They can send their siblings in on you. They can send their spouse in on you. They can send friends, close friends. Hell, sometimes they can get your own family to turn against you. If they got money, they can go to your family and say, hey, I'll give you X amount of dollars if you keep an eye on this person. Or I'll give you X amount of dollars if you tell this person that going that way is the wrong way. Or I'll make sure this is taken care of for you if you do X, Y, and Z for me, right? So shit like that can really happen in situations where people are trying to keep you put. And so it takes a really strong individual to break the cycle, right? It takes a really strong individual to break away from that type of shit. And I'm not saying that it's easy to do, especially if you're caught up in a situation where you have kids with the person, if you have assets that are tied together, if you have family that's feeding you bullshit from the back end because they're working with the person that you're trying to get away from. You know what I'm saying? Like, there are so many different ways for people to manipulate you in order to control you, right? And if you aren't strong enough mentally, right? If you have codependency issues where you feel like you have to be attached to somebody in order to get through life or to do things, right? When that was never you from the beginning, right? Or maybe it was you from the beginning. For me, I was never a codependent person. I was never a person that needed to attach myself to somebody in order to validate myself. I was never a person that needed to attach myself to somebody in order to grow, okay? I've always been a very independent person. I've always been very, I'm not gonna say, well, I guess I will say aware of who I am. And then as life hits you, or people hit you, as people hit you, they can misconstrue that picture that you have of yourself, right? People can knock your confidence down. People can make you doubt yourself a lot, right? People can make you think that you need them more than you do, right? So when that happens, your self-confidence can take a hit, your self-esteem, all of that, right? You may stop paying attention to how you look. You'll go into a depression. You might start using different substances to numb your pain because so that you don't have to feel, you know, the pain and the hurt that you're going through, all kinds of things, right? So, but guys, the only way to get out of that kind of situation is you have to have very strong self-love. You have to have very strong love, unconditional love of self. And you have to be fearless in knowing that whatever the outcome is from you leaving the situation, that you're going to be good. Okay? I knew that it wasn't going to be easy when I left my past situation. And what I mean by that is mentally, I knew it wasn't going to be easy because I had been conditioned and I had become accustomed to being with a certain person for X amount of years, right? And then kids come into the picture, and then you have assets and everything together and all kinds of things like that, right? So it's not ever easy to divide all that up and then, dealing with the whole kid situation and, and some people can get vindictive where they, use the kids as prey against you in order to control you and manipulate you. Oh, well, you can't see your kids, or I'll keep the kids. Or they just hide your kids and they run the hell off somewhere and you don't know where the hell they are, but they feel like as long as they have your kids, that they're hurting you because you don't have your kids. And that is a hurtful situation, right? But it's because that person is so fucking hurt and so fucking mentally messed up that in their mind, they feel like what they're doing is the right thing to do. Okay, well, they don't want to be with me anymore. And they think they're just going to go and run off and be with someone else and build a life and have riches and a beautiful family and be happy and all this stuff. And they think they're going to do all of that without me. Oh, well, I'll show them, right? I'll show them. I'll hit them where it hurts. I'll hit them in their pocket. Or I'll just do what I can to try to take control of the kids so they can't have access to their kids. Oh, I'll just run and hide the kids so they have no idea where their kids are, and they spend their life going in limbo, wondering where their kids are. And because they're in limbo, they can't progress because they're mentally trapped, and they're so upset, and they're sick to their stomach, and they're probably just going to end up in a hospital. And then eventually they're just going to come crawling back to me because they can't take the agony of not knowing what's happening. And they're going to put, I'm just painting the picture for y'all, okay? I'm painting the picture of how a sick-minded individual thinks like that. Because I would never, my mind doesn't even go there, y'all. My mind doesn't even go there, okay? But when people are hell-bent on controlling you, manipulating you in order to get what they want, and the majority of the time it's finances, or just control over your life. They will use money, they will use status, they will use your kids, they will use whatever they can use to do it. So you may feel like, I'm in a messed up situation. I don't know what to do. This person keeps trying to take me for everything, you know what I'm saying? And they doing it real slick on the low. Got me signing over my assets on the low to other people so they can dip in and take it, and doing this and doing that, so that people don't look at them like the bitch that they are. Do you know what I'm saying? All I'm saying is we have to recognize that there are people in our lives that are this way. And if you want to get out of that shit, you have to have unconditional love of self, enough to know that whatever decision you make regarding freeing yourself from the situation, that you are going to be okay. It's not saying that you're not going to come up against obstacles. Haven't you come up against obstacles all your damn life? It's not saying that you may not go through like a struggle or two or whatever. Haven't you been through a struggle or two in your life? But what you get from it is peace, and you get happiness. I promise you. Because every day that you live giving the other person the power to control and manipulate you and hurt you and lie to you and cheat on you and steal from you and do whatever they can to make your life a living hell, it does nothing but put you closer to the grave, which honestly, a lot of them wouldn't mind that happening. You know why? Because that's an even bigger payday. Oh yes, there are people that are sociopaths, psychopaths, and they don't mind if someone dies in order to reap the benefits of insurance. Oh yes, that happens too. People can pretend that an accident happened. People can pretend that you just couldn't take life anymore and you were so depressed that you decided you didn't want to be here anymore, so you took your own life. People can really spin the stories to make it appear one way so that they can reap the benefits of an insurance policy. And that is the God's honest truth. In your mind, you may be thinking, no, they wouldn't take it that far. I don't think they wouldn't take it that far. I don't think they would do something to try to physically hurt me. Yeah, I thought that my ex-in-laws would have never hurt my babies. Yeah, I thought that too. Until that day, February 22nd, 2019, when my ex-mother-in-law poisoned my baby girl and she passed out on the floor and we had to rush her to the hospital. Yeah, I didn't think that would happen either. In my mind, I said, no, there's no way. who would hurt a baby? Until you see all these stories circulating in the news media of crazy people hurting babies. And then you become a victim of the same fucking thing. So yes, beloved, they can and they will, because some people are so mentally disturbed. Some people are so unbalanced in their minds that they do shit like that. And to them, they think that it's okay because they've been doing it for years and years and no one has ever stopped them before. So why should they stop now? I know the situation can seem hopeless because I felt that same way too. But the amount of peace and happiness that you receive when you are no longer energetically attached to people like that, when you are no longer in their inner circle, when you are no longer needing or wanting to be around them like that. You know what I mean? And all you want to do is just amicably co-parent if you have children. That piece is priceless, let me tell you, because it's like a newfound freedom that you find. You become so joyful because you're like, oh my God, like I feel like I'm not around that heavy energy anymore. I'm in my energy now. My lighthearted, naturally happy, naturally genuine, authentic energy. You know what I mean? I'm in my real energy. I'm not in any superficial energy. I'm not in any low vibing energy. If you stay around low vibers, they keep you that way. And they want to keep you that way. Because if you raise your frequency and you start vibing high, then you're going to be too powerful for them to control. And that's what it was. You were powerful. And they wanted to dim your light because they couldn't meet you where you were. They couldn't meet you where you were. That's what it was. You know, a lot of times we get in these relationships because we do be on the same frequency, right? And sometimes we're not on the same frequency. Sometimes we're just people who want to see the good in people, and we get caught up trying to see the good in people who were never good. I mean, maybe they were good years before we met them, you know, but no, and it happens, and that's life, right? But the best thing about it is getting the lesson from it and using the lesson or the message in the lesson to help others, so that if they can avoid the same bullshit that you went through. But now you have even more discernment that you can use as you move forward in life. And it all happens for a reason. It's like you had to go through it in order to be awakened from it. You had to go through it in order to see the light, in order to see what the hell was going on. You know, because I didn't know a lot of stuff, but I know a lot of stuff now. I know a lot of stuff now. Okay? So, beloveds, if you choose to remain in the toxic situation, codependent situation that you are in, and that means you are sealing your fate. You are sealing your fate with destiny, that is what you want. Okay? And if you choose to do something different, to take a different path, to take a different turn, you know, just know that it's going to be a process you have to go through. You have to heal. You have to reflect. You have to get to know you. You have to get to know you again. Because after you go through some shit like that, you're relearning who you are and evolving in the process. So doing that, you might not want to be in a relationship. Honestly, I don't think you should be in a relationship if you choose to go a different path and get out, literally get out, you know what I'm saying? If you choose to do that, you should be to yourself. You shouldn't be in relationships. You should be reflecting, healing. You should be getting to know you again. And hopefully you find a really good friend or two who truly are good friends, that truly have your best interests at heart, that truly want the best for you. And hopefully, after all you've been through, you'll be able to discern what a good friend is, what a good person is. Because we meet people and we may think that they're good people, but sometimes they're not. But it's up to you to discern for yourself who that good person is. Because after stuff like this happens to you, it's hard for you to trust people, because literally you trusted the very people that were the closest to you. You trusted the people that you went to their house, right? You went to their house for holiday dinners, and you went to their homes for just regular dinners. Or you went to their homes just to hang out, shoot the shit, play cards, bring the kids over, let the kids play. Those people, some of these people you go to bed with every night and you wake up to every morning. Those are the people that are that close to you, that you trusted with your life, and they took that shit and shitted on it, literally. So absolutely, it's going to be hard to open your heart and trust again, because you don't want to feel that kind of pain again. That shit is very hurtful. And if anybody understands it, I do. Okay? I do. But I want you to know that you can do it. You can do it. I did it. And I've been through it, let me tell you. And I'm not just talking about with family, friends. I have been through it, even with strangers. I've been through it with police. I've been through all kinds of coworkers. I've been through so much shit, but I have learned so much shit as well. You know what I mean? And all it does is make you better equipped to know how to handle situations. And a lot of times you have to learn not to be so reactionary. Is that a word? Meaning you don't have to be so impulsive to act. You don't have to fly off the handle and yell and scream when somebody has wronged you. You know somebody has wronged you, and 9 times out of 10, that person knows they wronged you too. They know, because they did it. So how would they not know that they didn't wrong you? They know they wronged you, and they're waiting to see how you react. And we all react in different ways, right? Because we all conditioned to different things or different ways of acting, right? So just know that all of that comes with life lessons. It comes with mental mastery. It comes with learning people. It comes with learning about you, really learning you. And honestly, when you really learn you and you really know you and you really unconditionally love yourself, nobody can tell you about you but you. Nobody can move you but you. Nobody. And I mean that shit. Nobody. Nobody. So, beloveds, I hope you take the lesson from this message. And if it helped you, I hope you pass it on to someone else that it can help, because this life shit is real. Real talk. The movies about the boogeyman and this and all of that, yeah, that shit is true. The boogeyman is very real, and the boogeyman walks side by side you every day, and you don't even know it. You feel me? So use your discernment now. Be smart now. Okay? Thanks again for listening, y'all. This went over the 20-minute mark, but I needed to get this out. Plus, I'm out here walking, feeling good, feeling great, feeling wonderful in the sunshine, getting my vitamin D and everything, okay? So I didn't mind going a little longer, and I hope y'all don't mind me going a little longer because you got to listen a little longer. All right, y'all. Thanks for listening once again to Everybody's Got a Story. I appreciate your feedback and your comments. And as usual, I will speak to you in the next episode, okay? All right. Bye.